everyone, and welcome to AIADA's AutoTalk. I'm your host, Rachel Soleimani. Just a reminder that anyone who has registered for today's program will be receiving a copy by early next week. And if you have any questions, be sure to enter them into the Q&A bar at the lower right-hand side of your interface. Today, we welcome Caitlin Huppen and Jen Spearbrecher from AIADA's newest affinity partner, Accumatic. We're really excited to have them on board and with us today. So with that, ladies, I'll let you take it away.
Rachel, thank you so much, and thank you to AIADA for having us. We're very excited to be newest partners with you guys, and we're excited to also tell you about the future of automotive accounting today. But first, some quick introductions. So with me here, I've got Jen Spearbrecher. She's our VP of Operations. Jen, do you mind just sharing quickly about your background?
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having us today. Again, my name is Jen Spearbrecher, VP of Operations here at Accumatic. But before that, I too was in automotive accounting. I've been in automotive accounting for about 25 years prior to my time here at Accumatic. I am one of you. I speak your language, and I know that the struggle is real. So I am excited to be able to show you all of the things that Caitlin has in her deck for you today.
Thanks, Jen. Well, hi everyone, I'm Caitlin Huppen, and I'm an account executive with Accumatic, and we are based over in Seattle, Washington, but we do have employees all around the country now, and we have customers in 40 out of the 50 states. A bit about who we are. Accumatic is a tool created specifically for dealership controllers. It was born in response to a plea from the back office of a car dealership, and this particular group felt like they were stuck in the Stone Age. And they wanted a technology solution that could help modernize their operations, but no solution existed. So we built it. And with a lot of dedication and expertise, Accumatic was born about 6 years ago. And today, just like Jen, our team includes many former automotive controllers who have firsthand experience sitting in all the different seats of the back office. And they understand the pain points that are associated with traditional accounting at dealerships and are committed to making the process easier and more efficient for folks like them going forward. So I think we have a bit of a mix here in the room of different roles at the dealership. So that being said, this is a presentation about accounting, but we're also going to be talking about the stuff that maybe the folks with a higher level view of the dealership care about, which is your bottom line and the efficiency of your staff. So stick with me, okay? So here's where we're going to start. A not so hypothetical scenario. And I know this is rhetorical because you guys can't answer me, but I'm curious if this has ever happened to any of you. You lose a key member of your accounting staff. You spend months trying to find the right person to fill the role. You spend a lot of money paying a consultant to fill the gaps while you try to hire someone because you want to make sure whoever you hire is trustworthy, right? They're managing the most sensitive part of your business, the money, and the books get behind for a couple months and your staff is working overtime to try to get them back in order, and it's a mess. So I'm curious if this has ever happened to you where you're left high and dry due to a gap in your back office staff. And it's okay if you can't answer me, but I have a gut feeling that the answer is yes. So let's talk about why this is the case for so many dealers right now and what we're going to do about it. Really, the first thing we have to start with is, what does the workforce look like today and where is it headed? So I'm about to throw a lot of numbers at you, okay? First things first, the average tenure of a new employee that you hire at your dealership is just about 2 years. 91% of millennials report that they expect to be in any given role for less than 3 years because they're driven by seeking new experiences and gaining new skills. But here's the other thing. Studies also show that employees don't reach peak productivity until year 3 in their job. So every employee that leaves their role before hitting year 3 at your store is directly contributing to gross profit loss. And speaking of loss, this is kind of crazy, but it's been demonstrated that on average, the cost of turnover at a dealership is $439,000 annually, with 60% of executives reporting that turnover had a major impact on operations. And lastly, in a dealership survey from last year, 88% of executives reported that hiring is a major challenge right now, primarily because applicants lack the required skills and education that they need to do the job. And yes, statistics are great and useful, but anecdotally, this is what we're hearing from lots of our customers and prospects on a daily basis. It's really, really hard to come by good people right now, especially if you're not in a major metropolitan area. So, given all this, dealerships face an uphill battle when it comes to retaining employees. So, okay, retention's hard. Now let's talk about what is going on in the larger accounting world. The most recent AICPA trend report shows that there's been a consistent decline in the number of folks who are taking the CPA exam, roughly a 7% decrease year over year for the last decade. And another, not so fun fact, 75% of the CPA workforce hit retirement age in 2020. I'm going to say that again. 3/4 of all of the CPAs hit retirement age almost 6 years ago. And listen, I swear I talk to people every day at every conference I go to who say something like, my controller's retiring this year, or my controller retired last year, but she still helps me out because I can't find a replacement. Or, yeah, my controller is probably going to retire in a couple years and we'll look at technology after she leaves. But I'm here to tell you, you cannot wait on this because there's a mass exodus of baby boomers who are leaving the automotive accounting workforce right now. And fewer folks are coming in to take their place. And it's likely that going forward, many dealerships are not going to be able to hire and find experienced accounting professionals, let alone somebody with dealership experience. So that was sort of the scary facts portion of the presentation. But now we're going to talk about how we're going to weather the storm together. Your people are your most important asset. So let's make sure that you're retaining more of your existing staff for longer and at the same time, making them more valuable to your dealership. One of the best things that you can do for morale is remove administrative burdens from your more tenured employees. This means distributing those mundane, manual responsibilities across your staff and not just putting them on one person's shoulders. Really, anything involving manual data entry needs to be taken off your controller's plate, which will allow them to be not just a doer of tasks, but actually a strategic overseer who can focus on analysis and optimization. And it's also important that you're cross-training your employees from other departments. We have several customers who have their receptionists posting reports for them now. And this is great because you get to grow your bench, right? Identify your next high performers, get them familiar with your systems early. And having your receptionist post for you, that's an example of upskilling your staff. And it allows you to keep your staff nimble and engaged. And the thing is, employees really value the growth that they get from upskilling. There was a Gallup survey that was done that found that 60% of respondents said that they would choose a job with strong professional development opportunities over regular pay raises. Not that I'm not advocating for pay raises, to be clear, but this is really, really important, especially for the millennial and Gen Z folks at your dealership who value mobility at the company. 53% of workers, over half of them, said that having access alone to professional development would drive them to stay at a job longer. And 71% of respondents said that upskilling programs increase their job satisfaction. When you give your people more responsibility, they're happier in their jobs. Dealerships need to have an upskill plan. It's not only going to help you hold on to your valuable employees longer, but it will allow you to build your bench of talent, help staff be more effective, and enable you to run a leaner operation. So, how does technology play into all of this? We're all always trying to create efficiencies and reduce costs. And there's a little rumor going around that the back office is just a cost center. But the thing is, it just hasn't been invested in a way that would actually allow you to save money. And there are real costs about accounting. So here are a few ways that adding technology to your back office is going to benefit the dealership. First, we have retention, the appeal to staff. 93% of employees at dealerships, which to be clear is like most of them, right? 93% of employees believe that their workforce would be better if their employer made greater use of technology. And today's workforce views technology as importantly as it rings traditional benefits like health insurance and PTO. PTO, that's how important technology is. And with so many millennials and Gen Zers in the workforce today, dealers can do more to appeal to these segments and even use technology as part of the recruitment strategy. Technology adoption, it's just not optional, right? It's a crucial factor in attracting and retaining quality talent in the competitive marketplace today. Okay, next up is operational efficiency. We touched on this earlier, but automation frees up your accounting team to focus on the higher value work, which lowers labor costs and boosts productivity. Automation can retain process knowledge. It's sort of like putting your controller's brain in a jar. All of those years of knowledge that they've accumulated get transferred into a system, which ensures consistency even with staffing turnover. So now, when you hire new people, your controller doesn't have to spend months on training, and your new hire is not at risk of mistakes because with automation, the system just knows what to do with, say, a write-off. So everything gets done right from day one without adding to your controller's plate. Really quick, just speaking of write-offs, automation can help reduce errors, especially on something like schedule cleaning. So let's take a finance reserve statement. At dealerships with manual operations, the staff can spend hours hunting down pennies, right? That, or a lot of stuff gets written off because people are busy. And it's a lot easier to write something off and make it go away than figure out what actually went wrong. And when you automate the process of something like schedule cleaning, it ensures that things go to the correct place every time. And you're not, paying commissions on something that you shouldn't be. Okay, another very important reason to include technology in your back office, improved financial reporting. Faster and more accurate accounting lets dealerships make better informed decisions, period, right? When accountants make errors, which they do because they're human, but then those errors make their way into your monthly or annual close, it means that you might be making business decisions based on incorrect data or possibly even sending out inaccurate financial statements. And here's the reality. 1/3 of accountants make at least a few financial errors every week. And it's not because they're careless, but because they're overloaded. People have to move too fast, they've got too much on their plates, and they're stretched too thin. And that's not even counting when someone's out sick or on vacation or someone quits on you. And today, every time an error happens, you're paying for it twice. You're paying somebody to make the error, you're paying somebody to fix the error, and that doesn't even count the downstream effects that error could have had, right? Automation helps you get things right the first time. And when companies digitize, they see a 75% reduction in accounting errors. Okay, lastly, and very importantly, technology must be used to supplement your staff and help you hedge against the ever-changing economic climate and the inevitability that people are leaving this workforce. At the end of the day, your books do not care about the ebbs and flows of staffing. They have to get closed, and the continuity and success of your business quite literally depends on it. And that's where automation comes in. Most dealerships, when looking to cut costs, are going to look at vendors and tools to cut instead of people, which, to be clear, I think is a beautiful and reasonable approach. But there's a category of tools, and we believe we fall into this category, that can make your staff more efficient, more valuable to your dealership, increase morale, and ultimately improve the bottom line. And that's why I'm so excited that I get to tell you about Accumatic. Our whole goal is that we're removing the manual work that goes into posting reports and doing reconciliations, which saves about 92% of the time it takes to close the month. And people usually use Accumatic for one of two reasons. And what I'm about to say is potentially antithetical to everything I just said. But we're all going to hold two truths at once here because both of these things are true, okay? So as I just described for the last 10 minutes, many people choose to use Accumatic to make their existing staff more productive, right? Take stress off their plates, allow them to focus on the more strategic stuff, or potentially even help you keep your accounting headcount the same as you increase the number of dealerships you have. Maybe you're in growth mode. The other truth, and I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud here, is that we're going through a period of economic uncertainty. And I've talked to a lot of dealers who have said to my face that they're recession proofing right now and they're looking for creative places to reduce overhead. It's possible that Accumatic can help you maintain your current level of productivity, but reduce your headcount in the back office. And maybe that's because you've had natural attrition and you're having a hard time backfilling. Or maybe it's because sometimes you have to make tough decisions that are in the best interest of the business. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, no matter which position you're in, Accumatic can likely benefit your dealership. Now I'm going to have Jen run a demonstration for us, but I just want to ground us in some context for what you're about to see. So there's 3 steps to using Accumatic, and the first is that your team, you're in the driver's seat. So your team is going to pull your reports from the OEM website, or maybe it's a finance reserve statement, and they're going to load them into Accumatic, which is just our web-based platform. In step 2, we'll have worked with you to understand exactly how you do your accounting. The solution is customized for each dealership. So we'll make sure everything's going to the right GL account, it's controlled by the right number. If we need to do a vintage stock number lookup, we'll do that. If we need to handle any variances, we can do that too. But we're going to take anything that you're doing manually today, and we're going to do it in seconds, and then we're going to give it back to you in whichever format your DMS requires to post back in to the DMS so that you can post and move on with the day. And then these are all the different categories of reports that we support. Today, Jen is just going to show you something here in the factory bucket, but if there's anything else that you want to see, of course, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. But with that, Jen, I am going to let you take over the screen.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Caitlin. So like Caitlin said, my goal here today is just to kind of show you a little bit of what automation can do for you. Everything that happens on Accumatic is web-based. We simply go to our website, log in, and then you're going to go gather those documents from your OEM site, potentially a lookup file from your DMS, whatever's appropriate. And those are just going to get loaded into Accumatic. So what you see me loading here today is a dealer payment statement for a Ford dealer with a lookup file, because they control one of these programs by a stock number. The beauty of automation when it comes to accounting really feeds back to the comment that Caitlin made about your controller's brain in a jar. We all have had to sit down and train new people about what a Ford dealer payment statement is, or what a miscellaneous expense invoice is. And we know how difficult it is to just explain automotive accounting, let alone what we do with it in our different settings and in our different systems. Technology allows you to train the system one time and then train your folks how to use that system. The wonderful thing here is that within seconds, we're able to take that entire document, and we understand that different programs are going to go to different GL accounts, have the potential to have different control numbers. We also really like to make sure that we're building these entries out. We like to make sure that if we can set these reports up for you so that you don't have to go back and do any research on that original document, then we've saved you even more time. So maybe we add information to a control to field, or we build out a description that gives you the entire VIN, where nobody on your team is going to take the time to type out a 17-digit VIN. And when you do those types of things, you're opening the door for just errors. Those are hard to type. Those 17-digit VINs are hard to type. I'm terrible at it. I know I've made mistakes on them in the past. And if I don't have to type out a VIN, I'm not going to. So everything that we're doing here is capturing the different programs, the different GL accounts, all the way down to, we've looked up our stock numbers. This client happens to control their full tank of fuel by a stock number. So we've taken this VIN number from the dealer payment statement, and we've looked that VIN up, and we found their unique stock number. That in and of itself, that one process, can be the bulk of what coding these documents out is about. Having to go find a stock number, a customer number, an F&I manager's number. Which account am I supposed to write off a new chargeback to versus a used chargeback? All of that affects pay plans and how people then trust the back office. So technology creates efficiencies, it saves time, and it allows people outside of that back office to have trust in what's happening. In order to get these entries out of Accumatic, there's going to be a simple copy the result or download button. We give it back to you in exactly the format that you need for your DMS. So there's no manipulation of that file going in or coming out. And then you simply take it and post it back to your DMS. I think one of the most powerful reports that we process on our end is our parts invoices. And I like to demonstrate this one because this was really the report that made me go, oh wow, automation is super important. So what you see me loading is about, I think it's 150 Subaru parts invoices. So with our parts invoices, we can set this up appropriate for you, meaning if you just have a single parts inventory account, and that's where all of your parts go regardless of parts, accessories, gas, oil, and grease, great, we're gonna do that for you. But as with most people, you have different parts inventory accounts. So you need to make sure that your tires go to your tire inventory account on down the line. In those situations, we're actually looking at the part number as it shows up on the parts invoice, and we're establishing within your parts pad what source or group that goes to, and thereby which parts inventory account GL that goes to. That is such a powerful thing because as you're watching this, I'm sure you've experienced the month end, maybe quarter end, definitely year end parts inventory process where you've got your final numbers and every single GL account differs from your parts managers. Having these invoices be coded to the correct place based on where that part is set up in your system is huge. Accumatic does that for you. It does not rely on your parts manager's knowledge of where this part is stocked in. It puts it where it's supposed to go right out of the gate. This also allows you to skip the process of a parts manager printing invoices, hand coding them, delivering them to somebody in the office, for somebody in the office to then hand key every single one of those individually. The amount of error that we're opening ourselves up to when that is our process is immense. Within minutes, technology has taken that entire process, done it accurately, and it's ready to post 150 invoices back into your DMS. Lastly, I just want to show you what our reconciliation tool looks like. This really takes all of the different things that show up on your part statement, all of the things that you're posting, and allows you to then reconcile that process within seconds. So we're going to take a statement and we're going to take all of the entries that were made in the DMS and we're going to reconcile those within a matter of seconds. This reconciliation tool lets you look at all of the different angles that you should care about from an accounts payable perspective. What did I post? What did I not post? What did I post incorrectly? What have I posted that potentially was paid on a previous statement? And you can look at all of those different angles with these buttons up above. So I've got everything that equals. This is the tab that we love. This is where we want everything to be. I'm going to see anything that has a different dollar amount. I'm going to see the things that are posted to my GL but aren't on the statement, and then transverse to that, the things that are on my statement, not on my GL. And I can look at those both and say, show me where maybe I have the same dollar amount, but somebody fat-fingered putting that into the system. At any point, I can then print this document out and have the ability to turn this into a parts manager who maybe needs to pull and load more parts invoices, or my warranty clerk who forgot to post the last week's warranty claim statement. This in and of itself will save your team hours by being able to reconcile that statement and kick it right back to you and have it be done in moments. Caitlin, I'm going to go ahead and kick it back over to you.
Then thank you so very much for doing that demonstration. If anyone has any questions, do feel free to put them in the Q&A. But I did just want to share really quickly what a return on investment could look like with Accumatic. And this is just based on one dealer code and really our core 4 modules. I pulled this for Idaho. I don't know why, that's just who I picked. And I took the average hourly wages of the folks who post these reports in the back office and what your annual labor savings could be by using Accumatic. And it comes to, for one dealer code, about $47,000 a year. So with that, I just wanted to open it up to questions. Feel free to submit them. Feel free to email us directly and ask them. But thank you so much for taking the time to listen today. And we're looking forward to working more with AI88 and all of you in the future.
Caitlin and Jen, this was some really great information. And as you all know, you have their email addresses there. If you have any other questions, you can scan the QR code as well. It's really cool to see that Accumatic has been so innovative in this space, and I'm looking forward to everything you guys are doing this year and next year, Caitlin. So thank you both again for coming on today.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you so much.
Again,
Bye.
you'll all be receiving a copy of this presentation and recording by early next week. To those on the line, join us back here on Tuesday, October 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern as AIADA Affinity Partner WarCloud talks to us. To learn more about AIADA, visit aiada.org. Thanks for joining us and have a great day, everyone.